Well, it finally happened. After a lot of The Boy Who Cried Wolf, from the Switch Pro to the Switch 2, Nintendo has officially announced they are making a successor to the Nintendo Switch. They also announced a Nintendo Direct in June, which will focus on the Switch and games coming out for the rest of 2024 rather than the new console itself. Now, to be completely honest, I don't really like this console generation that much. I feel like both the Xbox Series and PS5 came out way too early, and it kind of shows thanks to the lack of exclusives they have. Earlier this year, it was revealed that both companies haven't actually met their sales expectations, leading to Sony and Microsoft already considering making new consoles in the next 4 to 6 years. I still have my PS4 since it's not retired yet, so it feels a little weird that they are considering making a PS6 already. Nintendo, on the other hand, I completely get why they had to replace the Wii U. They were really struggling during this era, to the point where late President Satoru Iwata had to cut his paycheck just to keep everyone around so they didn't have to fire anyone. And it really shows. The comeback Nintendo made with the Switch is insane. It's like lightning in a bottle. From combining the console gimmicks to the quality and quantity of the amount of games they make without all of them feeling the same. I do feel a little conflicted knowing that we are moving on, especially because one of the main reasons I was excited for getting a Switch was when they announced Metroid Prime 4. And as we all know, they had to switch developers, start everything from the ground up, and now it looks like it just might skip the Switch entirely. Now, yes, we did finally get Metroid Dread, and a remaster of the original Metroid Prime. So we're not as bad as we were during the Wii U and 3DS era, but I still can't help but feel a little upset that they announced this thing way too early. Still, there are some things that I generally find pretty exciting now that they are making a new console, because there are some things the Switch really needed that they never got to do. So this is their chance. For example, social media. Both the 3DS and Wii U had features where you could just go on YouTube, check Twitter, browse stuff on the internet, etc., etc. The Switch doesn't really have any of that. Not YouTube, not Google, not even Miiverse, especially Miiverse. Also, as of this recording, it was announced that starting June 10th, you won't be able to share your Nintendo Switch screenshots on Twitter anymore. So if there's any time to bring back something like Miiverse, now would be the time with this new console. I know most people only know the Miis for Smash Ultimate, but me personally, I'll never forget all the fun I had looking at all the goofy stuff people came up with. Now this could make or break the console for me. Backwards compatibility. One of the biggest missteps of the Nintendo Switch is, thanks to the game cards, you can't play Wii U games on the Nintendo Switch. The Wii U and 3DS, on the other hand, can both play games from their predecessors. The Switch has such a fantastic library, from new titles to remasters to remakes. Not going with backwards compatibility again is probably the biggest mistake this new console can make. But at the very most, it's definitely going to be stronger than the Switch, meaning that they can do something about the console limitations it had, preventing them from doing certain things, like Rex being in Smash. In case you don't remember, Sakurai did plan to have Rex, Pyra, and Mythra all be one character, trying to base them off of how the Ice Climbers worked, but the height difference and console just stopped him, so he had to just use Pyra and Mythra instead. They're all fun, but I would like to see Rex be playable too if we ever get another Smash. Personally, I don't see it happening, but if they can bring everyone back again, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Speaking of Xenoblade, this also gets to probably my biggest hope for the new console, a Xenoblade X remake. Around the development of Smash Ultimate, I do remember hearing that Xenoblade X was very close to impossible to port to the Switch thanks to the console limitations it had, and they would have to rebuild the game for the ground up. But now that they're making a new console, which should be stronger than the Switch, if it has backwards compatibility, not only can we get the whole series in one place still, we can actually port Xenoblade X and have all the games together. As for how strong the console is going to be, I'm not expecting much. Nintendo never really prioritizes graphics over gameplay. Not only will fans be able to play Xenoblade X legally with this remake, they also can fix some issues people had with the original. Back to backwards compatibility, I'm not expecting the Switch to go away too soon, at least in comparison to how fast the Wii U did. The 3DS, on the other hand, stuck around for a while, and even though it's a Sony console, again, the PS4 is still here. So maybe they'll take into consideration that the new console is going to be a little expensive and harder to get, so people will need to hold on to their Switch for a bit longer. And last but not least, the launch title. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And I'm expecting the launch title to be 3 things. A Metroid Prime 2 remaster, a Metroid Prime 3 remaster, or a Metroid Prime 4. Either way, it just smells like the big launch title to sell this thing is going to be Metroid Prime in some shape or fashion. And that's pretty much it. To do a quick recap, yeah, I'm pretty sad to see the Nintendo Switch go out like this, especially because it's pretty much the only console this whole generation that I feel like actually needed to exist. More and more games becoming $70, whether they deserve it or not, also doesn't really help, especially because this console is probably going to be $400 or more. But just like there are some cons, there are some pros. So many things that can happen now, being freed from the shackles that the Nintendo Switch was restrained by, is pretty exciting. Especially after how terrible this news week has been, knowing that Xenoblade X has a chance of getting a remake just keeps me going. That's all for now. I don't really know where this channel is going, but for the time being, I'm gonna keep trying new things. Maybe I'll do that video essay for 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You, or maybe I'll just talk about some hopes I have for Power Rangers when Hasbro's done with this break. I'm Flash, and see you guys next time. Bye.